And it is often lost upon us how quickly 2020 has come and passed by. I for one, would just keep on referring to last year when I really was referring to 2019. When I meant last year, it was like, okay, well, we seem to have done a lot of things in 2020, but we cannot seem to remember what we have done. And amidst doing all this, we have come together as a nation, but during the COVID 2020, we have also seen divisions. We also have seen fault lines appear whereby we probably wouldn't have seen them before. So over the course of 2020, you will find that COVID brought out the best and the worst of circumstances. I think the thing that I remembered the most was the home-based learning. I'm not too sure about you. I mean, we are about the same age, most of us. I have two young girls. One is 5 and one is 3. And I must say that I have adequate resources. We have adequate space. We have a proper iPad for them to do it. We have separate rooms. But even then, they would disturb each other and just couldn't get my own work going. I couldn't get them to sit down and do their art and craft. So, and that is for the majority of us who have sufficient resources. But for a group of people, especially in the lower income families, less privileged families, this situation is not just what we envisage having higher blood pressure. It is very real. If you go into a rental unit and you see the space that they have, you can provide all the laptops that you want, but it is not a conducive environment. So as we exit COVID-19, and I think that hopefully the worst is behind us for Singapore, certainly not around the region, you'll find that some of the people who have coped well, adapted well, they will continue to do fairly well in 2021. But for a significant segment of our people who have not fared well economically, they will continue to face pressure. They will continue to face pressure not only just in terms of jobs, income, but also the ability to invest in their children. And that is the central problem that we face as a society, as a community. That while we are able to invest and advocate in the best way that we can, the problems that they face is not just something that can be dealt with purely by money alone. If you look at the problems that we have seen in 2020, you'll find that there will be an increasing number of marital problems, spousal violence, increasing need for marriage counseling, some people even taking the very unfortunate path to divorce. All these have significant impact on children. And it has a knock-on effect on not only just the well-being of the parents, but also on the academic performance and also the subsequent growth of their children. And it's extremely unfortunate. And we will probably see some of this trend continue to perpetuate in 2021 because some of the sectors will not be able to recover as quickly as some of the others. Especially in the Northeast, we have a significant number of people working in the airport, meaning that there will be in aviation, aerospace, hospitality. This will take some time to recover. So these families will continue to need help. So while the government can continue to provide resources, funding, to keep workers in their jobs, some will need to transit, families will continue to come under stress. So the Northeast ICP is actually something that was done way beforehand, way before COVID. It was started in 2014, not knowing that there will be a day whereby it comes in very handy for a time like COVID or post-COVID. If you look at the amount of resources that we poured in for the 400 children who have come through our doors over the last 6 years, it is quite amazing. It is not the best use of resources by any means. Today we have seated here 17 organizations for MOU signing for 17 kids. And amongst every one of the organizations, there's probably 5 to 10 people working on this program. So you have easily 170 people working for 400 children. Is it worth it? And I think the simple answer for every one of us is it must be. because it tackles a problem that money couldn't. It requires attention, passion from people. It requires us to invest time, resources, ideas, but in a holistic fashion. Every Monday when I do my Meet the People session, I come across families of different circumstances. And I also now is the EduSave season. After today's morning event, I got to go down for my EduSave. You will find families coming in all shapes and sizes. And it is not so easy to tackle a problem singularly. When a child has academic problems, sometimes when you talk more to the parents, you find that they have job problems. They go through mental stress, whether it's spousal issues, whether it's workplace issues. They may also have mental challenges. So multifaceted, extremely difficult to deal with. So if you just want to apply a single solution, saying that, why don't you go to a family service center and they will sort you out? I think my friends from Care Corner will tell me that no, it's not going to work that way. So therefore, we have brought in many different good friends today. We have Anglican services providing mental health services because it's essential to keep not only caregivers but also beneficiaries in a good shape in order to receive help. We brought in our E2I friend, Vicky is here, because job is still the foundation of how a family can be anchored in security, in income, and so that they can continue to progress. We also have our existing partner, which is the schools. The schools is where it's the bedrock where you build good values. And you have so much interaction with the teachers that it's essential that now we have 4 schools coming on board. And I'm so happy to see scouts. I mean, I'm not a uniform, I'm a uniform guy, but I'm never a scout guy. I never believe in building bonfires. The scout guy is here, right? Is he? Oh, sorry, you would be very upset with me, but I didn't join Scout back then because I was a bit afraid of heights, so I don't like building scaffolding. But I can see the value of that you not only just need to provide jobs for the family, but you need to give certain values to kids that they can find comfort in a different community. So I'm very happy that organizations like Scouts are playing a very big role. And this tells us that what is the future of tackling complex problems in Singapore? I think we need to go beyond a many helping hands approach. It must be a targeted, many helping hands approach. When you do a many helping hands approach, the problem, the pitfalls, is that people fall through the cracks. Some people will get many helping hands, some people will not get any hands, and then some people might get overlapping hands. So how do you coordinate this in a much better fashion? We are in a very privileged position today that we are able to have many helping hands. Some of us are rather well-resourced, certain organizations, but our chief difficulty is able to operate as one entity, one big hand that can create the trampoline effect for our children. So I'm very thankful today for all of you for coming on board. For those partners who have been with us since 2014, thank you for helping these 400 children. Often I've been asked, how do you gauge the success of this program over the last 6 years? I don't really want to go by a numerical key performance indicator of 400. But I think the indicator comes when we meet these children who has grown into young adults, few years down the road, and who have they become as young men and young women. And when you see them getting into good jobs or continuing their education, family being stabilized, creating that structure of support, then you know that our work truly has impact. So continue to work together as one Northeast ICP, continue to tap on the resources. Our work will always be judged by the individuals that we have touched. So once again, I want to thank all of you for your kind support.